Good morning and afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for taking time to join me, and I have my colleague Gazde with me today.
Hello.
And we are excited to be able to talk to you about the state of the animation industry. Now, because you're all professors and teachers, we do want to see hands raised when questions are asked. Yeah, sorry, bad joke. We're coming to you all the way from Montreal, Canada, where it's 32 degrees out here, so it is a balmy 32 degrees. And let's get going. So as everyone has heard, hold on, I've got to click on something. There we go. So some of the points that we're going to be going over today is basically who is Toon Boom? Some people out there might not know, and what I do for the company, the global industry snapshot. There's a lot of wonderful activity that's just not happening here in North America, but internationally, which will lead to jobs, which we'll go into detail shortly. Careers in the animation industry, so an ideal pipeline as to what are some of the jobs that you should start focusing on, looking at, or incorporating into your plan. Productions using Toon Boom, so there will be some videos on here. I hope you will have seen some of them. And then expectations from the studios, because in the end, many of the graduates that are coming out of your programs are going to be doing two things. One, they're going to start their own business, or two, they're going to go work for someone else. And if they're going to go work for someone else, there has to be a clear understanding what is the expectations to be able to walk in and get a job from these studios. So who am I? Well, lucky you. You get a nice caricature of me. My name is Bernard. I've been with Toon Boom for over 8 years. Most recently, I've overseen the development and growth within the Asia Pacific region. So basically all the countries in between India and New Zealand, which is basically 1/2 of the population of the world. Quite exciting, wonderful opportunity. And most recently, I was asked to come over due to the growth of the educational market here in North America and the governmental side of the business to take over that mantle, which is a great pleasure because I think the creativity that is being developed in the tertiary market is absolutely incredible. So who is Toon Boom? Toon Boom has been in the animation industry and part of the growth of this industry for the past 25 years. Basically, we develop technology that it comes from the input of the industry itself. So studios like Disney, Warner Brothers, Fox, Cartoon Network, you name the studio, they have at one time or another come to us talking about projects. We are very included in the inner circle of many of the projects that are being developed. And we will develop tools specifically for these projects in mind, of which will be rolled out into our software. This year, we just celebrated our 25th anniversary, which is a long time for any software company. And I'm glad to say we are one of the few that has made this milestone. We have won Emmys. We've won the iWorks Award. We have received numerous accolades all around the world based off our technology. And the goal of the technology is to simplify and enhance the animation process on any style of project. And we have recently, and I'll go into that, some of the productions that were done, we work, as I said, Disney, Amazon, Fox, Nelvana, Ubisoft, Toy Animation, Spa Studios, and we'll see a clip from Klaus, ZLAM, Boulder Media, just to name a few. And the technology is available in numerous languages, including Chinese, Japanese, Spanish, English. I hope there was a chuckle. So basically, just to give you a snapshot, and this is the beginning of this presentation is to kind of give you an understanding of the industry, where it's been, where it's going, and how big it is. So going back as I said, in 1994, Toon Boom was founded, and our biggest client at the time was Disney. Our first major project that we worked on was the Simpsons movie, and those of you who happen to have a copy of it, if you go to the very end, you're going to see the logo powered by Toon Boom, and that was one of our biggest projects, which was a huge success in the entertainment market. 2004, we got SpongeBob, which the TV series, which was fantastic. Then we won our first Emmy, which is a very short time period to get one of those. In 2007, we launched the other industry standard, which is a Storyboard Pro, which we will be talking about briefly, but it is one of the most important pieces of technology ever created. And it sounds like a big comment, but it isn't. The flexibility of this technology can be used in numerous projects, numerous industries, and I'll go into a little detail of that in a little bit. And where is the future going? So in 2012, we were purchased by a major broadcaster up here in Canada called Chorus Entertainment. They're also part owners of Nelvana, and that was a huge boost for us. We opened up an office in Japan. So if there's any students or schools out there that have a big connection to Japan with the foreign students that come in, we would love to be able to talk to you because there's an industry there that is trying to modernize, and having students who understand the technology and how to use it in a Western way is highly in demand. And then we've recently opened 3 offices in China. So again, China is, I guess, the final frontier for all things animation. These guys do not want to do jobs and service work for North American studios. They want to start developing their own IP to develop their culture, like Japan, overseas. And the future is fantastic. And because of the activity that's going in the industry today, we're being contacted regularly by the major studios for new techniques and new tools to be created in our technology to be rolled out in future productions. And some of them look absolutely phenomenal. So, as I said, who are our clients? So our clients, due to the technology, ranges from schools like yourself, high schools, universities, private training institutions, studios, whether it's IP developers or service studios. So these are the guys who are doing all the grunt work, and freelance artists. Freelance artists are the backbone of this industry. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. If they want to go over and work for a Disney or a Fox or an Nelvana, wonderful. But many guys are making big money being freelance artists. So that is a huge potential for the universities, especially if you're a university that has a business program. Most of the freelance artists that are coming out are graduating ready to work. Most of them don't understand how to do business. They've never, probably don't even know how to balance their checkbook properly because they are students. So having an opportunity to get them into a business-related program, that might be able to extend a university program from 3 years to 4, but it will give them the understanding how to read contracts, how to do books, how to hire people, all the gambits that come along with being a freelancer, because the contracts that are being handed out by any company, the devil's in the details, and if they don't follow that one properly, it could cost them major lawsuits and livelihoods. So who do we work with? So Universal, Fox, if you've watched The Simpsons, if you watch Family Guy, that is using Toon Boom. Spa Studios, if you've seen Klaus on Netflix, which is absolutely game-changing, that was done with our technology and some proprietary work. Bento Box, well, that's one of our favorite studios. That one does Bob's Burgers, Chamberlain High, and they have a bunch of other productions on the way. And they recently got purchased by Disney, and it's going to be awesome what they're coming out with. NBC, Nelvana, Lucasfilms, if you've seen some of the animated Star Wars, they use that, but they also use Storyboard Pro. OLM is the home of Pokemon, and Fulimage has so many projects that it would go down the length, all the titles would fit the sleeve of my arm, and I'm a very tall man. So who we are, as described, we're in the position of setting the standard for 2D animation. And that's based off of the input from the industry. And I'll be coming to that in a few minutes. How big is this industry? Well, we've been able to map it out, and you're going to kind of be surprised by the size of it. 25 years of comparable experience, and we are working as facilitator now. It's not just the development of software, it's being able to connect the industry to studios, whether in North America or international, to schools. So we have done a really strong job of connecting some of the top universities and educational institutions to actual production studios. And this is fantastic, especially if you have a great program and you got creative people in there who are developing IP, storyboarders, riggers, compositors, you name every element in the production pipeline. There is a huge demand, and our pleasure is to connect the schools that have a great program with studios that are doing great work. If you have a school that has a good program and really wants to get out there and develop a name for itself, we can help you with that also. And because our technology keeps updating every year with new features and tools that are coming in from input from the studios, we're basically cutting edge on what's happening. There's a lot of other softwares on the market, and they all can do the job, but none of them are putting out new tools and techniques on a regular basis. And the studios run to us to ask where they have a project coming up. We need to be able to do a certain function with a line, or have a certain texture, or work with 3D, specialized 3D rigs. We can do all that. And our vision is simple. We want to take over the globe. So we want that every frame of animation produced globally is done with Toon Boom technology. And that means whether it's through the animation process or the storyboarding process, it is a vision that we really attain to. And it's simple. We're just building innovative software that provides powerful storyboarding, animation capabilities, and streamline the production process for artists, students, and studios. Sounds like a pitch, but it's the actual truth. This is what we drink, this is what we do, and most of us love. Actually, I don't think there's anyone in this company that does not enjoy creating animation. Sitting down and watching shows that you know that did. As indicated, these are where our offices are. And this brings us to the most important part, or one of the important parts, I should say. How big is the creative content industry? And basically, you're looking in the multi-billions. It's to a point where the industry is on the precipice of exploding into new markets like never before. And part of that is being driven because of the OTT, which we'll go in a little bit. Netflix, Amazon, and all these guys are commissioning work, but the bleed off into video games, feature film, web designs is growing at an exponential rate, to a point that when you're looking at the contribution to the global sales, you're looking at $200 billion. Now, you cannot find this information readily online. We had to do a lot of research. We had to go, I think it took us 2 years to start compiling all this data. Globally, you're looking at 29.5 million jobs, which is really more than the automotive industry. And think of that on a global scale. Um, and the boost of city attractiveness is absolutely key. We're getting, or I'm getting anyways, inquiries from states, inquiries from cities who are looking to develop their own creative industry. One in particular, I had a conversation with go figure, a high school in the state of California that was approached by one of the major cities to help them bring industry to their city. And where they're putting out tax credits for any creative related studios to come in and set up shop. Because of course this means jobs and everything else. Just Montreal alone in the past few years, we have a very strong video game market. And about 3 years back, our provincial government put a tax incentive for more companies to come in and open up. Now we have one of the biggest VFX industries within the city, and we cannot keep up with the demand that's there. So this is growing, and not just here in North America, but as I said, internationally. And of course, all that leads to quality of life. But when you look at how that spins out, most people don't understand where the revenue potential is. If you're not really focusing on animation or the creative market, or it's a bit of a pastime for the institution, really, they're missing the boat. The opportunities that are being spun out of the creative industry is at an all-time high. We basically are saying it's a platinum age of animation and creativity. So as indicated, you see the $2,250 billion worldwide revenue. What does that translate when you're looking into an overall breakdown into the 2D animation market, 3D animation market? So in the US alone, you're looking at $270 billion just in the creative industry alone, which is huge. I don't think outside of telecommunications and military that you have one particular industry that is generating that much business. Everyone is consuming. And the funny part with this, in animation itself, we're also referring to storyboarding. And storyboards are the lifeline to any great show. All of you are teaching it in one form or another. But if you take a look at Los Angeles as a whole is creating more IP films and series like never before, and having a tool like Storyboard Pro actually standardizes what is being taught and used, and we'll go into that in a minute. And then when you break down that 270 billion, what does that equal in animation? So 2D animation alone is 124 billion. And 46% of all the total animation, which is huge, again, first before 3D, web, and others, because 2D is easy. 2D is cost effective. For most studios out there, 3D is very expensive. If you see what's happening on Netflix or Amazon, there are 3D shows, but the bulk of it is 2D or 2D hybrid, which is a mix of the 2D, 3D elements in there. In North America, there's 4,000 studios, which is quite a bit, or 160,000 jobs. And that's with the base of 40 spots per studio. Now, most studios are a bit bigger than that, but we had to average out somewhere. So now here's why we're part of this industry so much. Storyboard Pro was one of the first things that we really started getting recognition for. This was coming back from the industry who wanted to have the ability to have a true visualization of the animation or the show or whatever project is being done. So Storyboard Pro is designed to work with our animation software, Harmony, but it is created to be used for television, feature film, plays, web design, video games, and the artist or the studio can get a real perspective as to what can be done on the show. You can time out your episode. You can import 3D. You have full stereoscopic cameras in there. You'll have to excuse me for a second. I need a little sip. Talks amongst yourselves. And you can run an animatic. All it is panels and scenes. But what is coming out is we have live action feature films that are being done using this. We have television that's being done using this. We have the military that uses Storyboard Pro. The military invests a lot of money into weaponry and lives. Before they do anything, they have to, for a sortie, they have to map out and plan and have a true visualization as to what the soldiers are going to be going into. And we do have a fairly large contract with the US on this. So there's a way to go here. Government agencies will use this, whether it's for, I can't go into all the details because I know too much, but let's put it this way. They use this as well. So you can get a true visualization as to what you're trying to do and compete. And you also, if you're doing a web series or a television series or feature film, you can run that automatic and you can get a real feel as of what the animation is going to look like and, as I indicated, feel like. Followed by Harmony. Now, Harmony is, again, the other industry-leading tool. There's other there's other products that are on the market today that can do a very good job, but none of them are connected, one, to Storyboard Pro, because we can export from any scene or animatic from Storyboard Pro, import it into Harmony. It opens up, the artists continue working, and that visual is being achieved because you already have that feel in there. And this is a technology that can be worked on any style of production. If you're doing rotoscoping, you're doing a feature film, you need rotoscoping, you can do it in Harmony. If you're developing animated series that you want to be hand-drawn, painterly, that can be done. Cutout, no puppet, I should say, that can be done. 2D, 3D, that can be done. Anime style, that can be done. It's to a point that because of the inputs that we've had from all those companies, this piece of software can do just about anything. And a few years back, when we started going into Japan, we were working with the studios within Tokyo, and they gave us, they looked at our software and go, guess what? This doesn't work for us. This is not how our pipeline works. Great, how does it work? They gave us all their input, and we modified Storyboard Pro and Harmony to fit in with the Japanese style of animation, which is exciting because there's 800 studios in and around Tokyo alone, which is really exciting. And as I indicated earlier, they're looking for people. They're looking for studios who can do their job overseas or here in North America. So it's a great, great opportunity. And within Harmony, you have your brush engine, palettes, traditional paperless animation, 2-3D integration, deformers. You can do all your compositing and effects within there. The only thing it doesn't do is the final edit, but you can work your way all the way up there. So, what are the careers? Right now, there's two key pipelines in the industry today. Paperless, a lot of the frame-by-frame, Bugs Bunny, Mickey Mouse, all the traditional style of animation that you've seen, the classic Disney. Sorry, talks amongst yourselves. It's my very first webinar, so I hope I'm doing okay. So you're going from script, storyboard, your pre-production, basically developing your animatic layout and posing, And then you have the animation on down. Some of the positions that are high in demand are the storyboards. Whether you're doing paperless or cutout, and cutout is your puppet animation, we've given the name cutout. People do having people. I'm gonna have to get a sign that says momentary moment. Excuse me, we're having a technical difficulty. The storyboards right now, because of the demand for IP by Amazon and all these guys, they cannot find enough storyboarders to be able to take their ideas, put it on paper, and get those series done. That's one of the biggest demands in the industry right now. Another one is animation cleanup. Because of the projects that are being done that are hand-drawn, it takes a certain people with a certain set of skills to be able to do high-quality cleanup. And North America, it is the highest quality work you're going to see anywhere in the world. But Europe is very high, Japan is very high, but US, the quality of the shows that are being created here and developed here are fantastic, and they need top guys. The other one for cutout is riggers. And riggers, like 3D, 2D riggers is very specific. You, especially with the shows that are being done now on air, the rigs are insane. Whether it's Rick and Morty, Tangled, Mickey Mouse, a lot of these shows are doing very advanced rigging, and having the ability to teach your kids to get to that level of proficiency is time consuming. But the rewards are, these guys they can work anywhere. If they want to go overseas, we'd be more than happy to introduce them to studios over there. And if you have a big delegation of foreign students who are coming to your institutions to take advantage of your programs, and they plan to go back to their countries, please, we would love to connect them with studios over there for internships. And the other one is compositing. There's not enough compositors to do the work in North America or anywhere. So there's a great opportunity for people here. The other one is developing IP. Creativity is huge. We're seeing, being contacted by the major studios and the major streaming companies to help them connect them to guys with really great ideas, because they're grabbing everything. And if you've read the dailies and the business news, you would easily see that for yourselves. So it brings us to what shows are being done with Toon Boom. Well, as indicated, this was one of the big ones this year. Nominated for Academy Award. The techniques and the tools that are used in Klaus is fantastic. I'm going to run a few seconds of it so you can get a general idea and a general look. I have a few of these on here. So just to give you the look and breadth of the animation that's being done.
Hello, Jesper Johansson, postman. Mr. Klaus, you have a gift. You were meant for making toys. So I figured if you donate your old toys, I'll deliver them for free.
Tonight, I go with you.
There's no need for you to come with me, really. Tonight, then.
Write a letter to Mr. Klaus. He'll make us a toy.
Now this is the same studio that did Despicable Me.
Yep.
Mr. Klaus is the coolest.
Klaus, what about me?
Loser.
Oh, yeah, well, if I'm a loser, then you're
You're done. So this is an absolutely beautiful piece of work. It looks 3D, but it is 2D. There are certain proprietary software that is used by SPA to give it that 3D volume. And it is absolutely a marvel to watch. If you haven't seen it, please do yourself a favor. This show is the new bar for what animation and storytelling can do. It is a hybrid. We were on board with this consulting from day one. When I've seen it 3 times so far, and every time I find something else in there. It's just marvelous. The other one is, this is beautiful. Sorry, I'm saying it's beautiful before seeing it. You can't go wrong with Mickey Mouse. Oh, and I want to quickly show you something, just to give you an idea. Pause. Whoops. Bear with me, please, folks. Okay, here on the bottom, you're going to see in harmonic mercury vision. Now, this is the only series that Disney has allowed us to put our product on there. Mercury is the studio that is doing the work on this great series. And Harmonic is just a fun name for Harmony, which is the animation software that's used. So allow me to run this a bit. There's more shows to show you. Those of you who've seen Rick and Morty and love Rick and Morty, and I'm one of them, this is one of my favorite
Writing's
shows.
not that easy,
And
but
unfortunately,
Grammarly can
we're
help.
being spammed.
This sentence is grammatically correct.
And another 70 episodes coming. So watch away. Great story in there. 2D gaming is coming back. As many of you might know, that the AAA games is an industry that's rebuilding, and a lot of people are going into the 2D gaming. And this is a fantastic one that was done recently. Everything was done in Harmony, all the animation, all the characters. And they give you a little bit of gameplay. It works with, they were using their own proprietary game engine. Disney does the same thing. All created in 2D. All right. Because I gotta buy that game. Now, this is another great Disney show. Disney's so creative. Again, everything's done in Storyboard Pro. If you haven't seen the series for Tangled, you need to check it out, and especially if you're big on animation. This is, please no commercials.
I won't be able to stop it. And it could seriously harm you and your father. So I'm trusting you to snap me out of it once your father is free.
You can trust me, Rapunzel.
A lot of deformers, a lot of rigging.
End this destiny. Break these earthly chains and set the spirit free.
Look at the hair. You can't do that with any other software.
It's working. It's working. Oh my God! Yeah! Rapunzel, snap out of me!
This is the same studio that does the Mickey shorts.
You didn't give up on me. I'm not giving up on you.
This is a great show to watch, especially, as I said, just looking at the animation. This is one of the current bars for rigged shows. I have studios, we have studios around the world that all want to be able to do this style of animation. And the rigs on there is like, when you look at the node view of the rigs, it's like looking at a map of the galaxy. It is absolutely incredible. Battleborn is another video game that is done with us. We'll move ahead. This, if you haven't seen this, this is another fantastic show. And this is dealing with a hybrid pipeline.
I'm not coming back.
So it's
Hugh.
2D, hand-drawn, puppet, and 3D.
Is it really you?
Get off my cheek, Scary.
The war for your universe has begun. The time has come for you to free me. Otherwise, no one, past, present, or future, will survive.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Our journey leads to final space.
Wow, yes!
My first high five. And it was a threesome.
Great show. Fantastic show. I love this show. Big Hero 6, another big one for Disney. And you can see what Disney does. It pushes the envelope of storytelling. This is what they've been known for years, and they don't stop there. This is another hybrid show, hand-drawn and puppet.
No, let me go!
Sorry, Hero, but I'm afraid you're a loose wind. Wait, where's my phone? Over here. Liv!
Huh?
I did it. What did you do? What you created me to do. To save you.
Fun show to watch.
I...
And we're almost done with the shows. This is another great one. This is all hand-drawn. But again, the reason we're showing you all this is so you can see the flexibility of the software. And this is a very complex show to do, but with this show, you have a lot of people who want to have that same look, same textures, same lines. All can be found within one technology. That's Harmony.
This represents a new level of mutant abilities.
Let's play!
Unleash the You guys from Jersey?
Someday.
Animation's a great field to be in. Oh, this is a good one. So for those of you who have a 3D program and you want to take your project to the next level, this one, and if you haven't seen Moana, again, another great Disney show, Maui's tattoos
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What? No.
are all animated. You can't do that in 3D. So what Disney did, I think it was under Eric Goldberg, animated everything with Harmony.
It's adorable. Well, it's nice to see that humans never change. Open your eyes, let's begin. Yes,
So what they did is they did a layer of the story and of all the tattoos, and then they just put a skin on it.
What can I say except you're welcome?
That's what I tell my kids every day after they eat their breakfast. And this is the last one I'm going to be showing you, and this is another difficult show, and when you look at it, oh no, I think I doubled up on it. Bear with me. There we go.
Another here in the wilderness. There's mystery everywhere you look. Come on, Twig. Let's get my sketchbook. Done. Time to go.
You can see the textured lines.
Please, Mum. We've been
Looks
here
very
for so
independent.
long. It's literally the best place
Looks
to
all
ever-
hand-drawn. Oh wait, it's not hand-drawn, it's puppet.
This in Trollbag.
It's drafty in here. You should really close that door.
But you would never know. And the reason why a lot of studios are moving away from let me rephrase that, not moving away, are doing more puppet projects is they have a shorter delivery date. Shows like The Simpsons that have about 14 weeks per episode to be done don't have that same liberty anymore. Due to the streaming market, Amazon and all the other companies, they're looking for an episode a month. In some instances, we've seen 1 or 2 studios be able to do an episode every 22-minute episode every 3 weeks. You can't do that with hand-drawn. The budgets aren't as big as they used to be, first and foremost, and they have to be able to run leaner. So having artists and people who are able to come out understanding how to use the tools to create the animation and work in a studio is an essential now. They have to be, in some instances, generalists. So why animation? Well, of course, content is king. As indicated all the way through this presentation, the industry is being driven right now by 4 companies: Netflix, Amazon, Disney Plus, Hulu. These are the guys who are commissioning the work. They have Netflix alone took out an $8 billion loan just for to develop content, both live and animated. They are now looking for new IPs. They are commissioning studios to do content. So they'll walk into a studio somewhere and say, hey, great, you got this big building. We want to commit you to commit 1/3 of this building just for content alone, for our content. And that's what's happening. The same thing's happening for live production. So if any of you saw the news about a couple of months back where Tyler Perry has opened up a huge production lot outside of Atlanta, it's for this reason alone. There are so many shows out there that are being done, and the demand for IP and people who can tell stories is key. Where are the jobs? The jobs are all over the world. It's nice to think that we can do them all in North America, but we can't. The truth of the matter is many of the projects that are designed and creatively put together in Los Angeles have to outsource. There's not enough resources within North America to be able to do all the work. A lot of the shows go to Korea, a lot of the shows go to the Philippines, a lot of the shows go to India. The interesting aspect is, as I indicated earlier, that many of the institutions are bringing on more foreign students in. Well, if you have a great animation program that knows how to do cutout animation or hand-drawn, we can connect you with studios overseas, which will make it more enticing for more students to come to your institutions to get their education. And we all know that the foreign students pay more than the naturalized. What jobs are in demand? Storyboard artists, riggers, cleanup artists, and compositors. Those are the big 4 right now. But like everything else, they need to be somewhat of a generalist for this. Now, of course, I'm going to be proven wrong with one of my paragraphs that are coming up. What should the students expect, and what should you teach the students so when they go present themselves to a studio? 1, their portfolio. Many people will put together a portfolio of both killer and crap, just to show, oh, this is what I can do. No, it needs to be 100% killer. If it doesn't get an emotion or a rise out of you, because you get to see the portfolios before the studios do, these kids get 1 shot to present themselves because the studios don't have time to stop. And sounds a little tough, but this industry is tough. It's a very precise industry. They need to be able to look, say, I really like this, and you're hired. If they start putting in questionable stuff, the studios will focus on the questionable stuff and go, well, why couldn't you finish it up? So help them get their portfolios and make it all killer. The more students understand the production pipeline, the more value they add to the studios, and the more graduates they will take from your program. This is very important. This phrase came from 3 universities alone. It took them a long time to develop a strong relationship with some of the studios, and I'm using universities in Vancouver, where there was a strong industry, and one of them out of California. And they have worked really hard, and the heads of these programs would go over to the university, to the studios, and go, what do you need? How can I get my students to graduate and walk into your studio and get work right away? And this is the relationship they had. We were the glue that introduced the studio to the school. But once they had that communication and dialogue, it really sped up the quality output of the graduates. Realistic expectations. And I know a lot of you go, well, I'm not, trying to get my students to work. I need them to be open thought, free thinking to some extent. Wonderful. They still need to cut their teeth at a real job. And it's great when they understand and have those realistic expectations, and they have to be ready to start at that lower level and work their way up. Spielberg did it, Lucas did it, Nelson Shin did it. Great story. You guys have to ask me if I ever meet you guys. Ask me about Nelson Shin, who he is, and what did he do for Star Wars. Being a generalist is good, a great value to a studio, but specializing has even more value. Top dollars are going to riggers right now. Riggers, storyboard artists, and compositors. Knowing the tools and how to use them is very important for the studios. Many times, and we've heard this all around the world, the student graduates, they go for the job, they go, I learned this, that, and the other thing. The studio goes, great, show me what you can do. They open up the software, and they go, what's this? It doesn't help anyone's program, because that means your students aren't hireable. And there's nothing worse than a student that pays a lot of money to a great institution that can't get a job. Because in today's modern world of tweeting and Facebook, they will air their grievance and you have no way to control it. And we can help you. We actually have a Learn portal. We have a customer success team. We have a group of people that can help you tailor your program to meet the needs of the industry and still keep that free thought, free thinking, independent mindset behind it. And we're almost done here. And 3 small pieces of advice for you to share with your students. It's a simple thing. You're walking into a studio, they're ready to go to work, follow the model, be open to criticism, and be ready to adapt. If these guys go in there knowing that, those 3 pieces, you have taught them more than 4 years degree will give them. Because many of them will want to do their own thing, and nothing pisses off a studio faster. They'll be out the door before you can even imagine. It is a very precise industry. And especially when you're working with Family Guy or Bob's Burgers or Mickey Mouse, those lines, the eyes, the mouth, the hand gestures, the clothes has to meet what the model is. There cannot be any room for interpretation, because these guys have 4 weeks to deliver an episode, with the exception of Simpsons, which is 14 weeks. So if you have references, Toon Boom is everywhere. We have toonboom.com, Twitter, Facebook. We have a Learn portal, learn.toonboom.com. We have blogs. We have Discord. So you have a place in the community to link up on Discord, which will have other teachers and other specialists there who can answer your questions. And hold on, I'm getting it right. What's that? Oh, and we have a great new, thank you, Ghosty. My little bird was telling me we just came out with a new a digital magazine called Animation from Every Angle, where it has articles from other schools, other projects in detail. And if you go to our webpage and you go for it, there's a wonderful article on one of the nominated Academy Award features or short features called Hair Love. Fantastic fantastic video, the story behind it, and my wife watched it and she cried. It's really nice. I didn't cry because I'm a big guy. Big guys don't cry. So with that said, and I do thank you for sitting here. What questions do you have?
The first one I have here is, could you please send me those how-to links and the others are asking for?
The how-to links?
Yes.
Okay. I'm sure we can get that for you.
I can include it in our follow-up email.
Sure. Is there a follow-up to that question? Which how-to links are they looking for?
I'm hoping they can type in and give me more information.
Wonderful. We'd be love to do that.
And actually, I think that's just some of the more like items talking about actually using the software, probably more with the Toon Boom Learn portal is probably the information that we're looking for there.
There's a lot of stuff within that Learn portal. You can have journeys, you have modules, you have an outline for a course. If you already have an animation course to begin with, and you're using Adobe or TV Paint or one of those other softwares, and you want to change over, well, guess what? The principle is still the same. We can help guide you on what modules fit in what program, because you're just switching out the tool.
Okay, and then another one is how do schools get involved with Toon Boom?
Well, that's a great question. And I think that one could be here on the next slide, which is how to get in touch with our friends at Studica. And you can easily email me, Bernard at toonboom.com. But going through with Studica, they are well connected with me. Their job is to help you get the tools and the understanding you need. I can get you connected to anyone else. So please keep sales at studica.com included, copied on your email, please.
And how do you connect the schools with the studios?
Another great question. Basically, the school reaches out to us. They give us a general overview of the program that they have, the graduates that they work with, what type of animation they do. And then we look at some of the work that the school has helped create, and then connecting them to the studio if it hits all the marks, because the studios are very particular. We need to introduce them. They will not take any introductions from anyone else. Silly, as crazy as that sounds, they are nonstop. And case in point, we had one studio, one independent, sorry, it wasn't a studio, it was a school, reach out to a major studio in Los Angeles. And they said how much they love Bob's Burgers. That they had the class dress up as all the characters in Bob's Burgers. They started doing little parades with Bob's Burgers, breaking a little copyright stuff, and it really upset the studio. So for us, and not to cast any aspersions on anyone because the intentions were good, we try to avoid that. So reaching out to me, I would introduce you to my colleague Bradley. Bradley oversees the commercial business, and he will connect you to the schools, and he'll talk to you, and he'll ask a lot of questions.
Okay, it looks like that's the end of our questions.
That's it?
That's it. That's all the questions we have.
Wow. You know, the funny part is I learned English overnight just to be able to do this webinar. That's a joke. You can laugh. Perfect. Well, then I'd like to thank everyone for attending. Again, you can email me at bernard@toonboom.com. Please copy sales@studica.com, because our goal is to help you with your programs. I can connect you to our customer success team and our team here to answer any questions you have. We can set you up with trials so you can play and tinker with the software to get a general idea. and we can move forward from there.
Great. Thank you so much, Bernard.
You,
Thank you, everyone, for attending.
thank you.